Today we are counting the top 10 most valuable Marvel comics published in 1977 with a 35-cent price tag. These were rare variants that were released potentially in only 4 areas of the United States as a test run with a higher cover price to see if the market could sustain 35-cent cover when comics were 30 cents at this time. So we're going to start the countdown right now with number 10. Iron Man number 100 has a 35-cent variant featuring Mandarin. This is a major key book. Currently guides $600 raw in the current Overstreet annual comic book price guide. And we're going to look at closer details on this book and see why this book is so valuable. Features a Jim Starlin cover. The print run is estimated at only approximately 1,500 copies. So the print run of the 35-cent variants is only 1% of the entire print run. The other 99% print run of this book has a 30-cent cover price. These are possibly the rarest Marvel comics ever printed. And yes, the only difference is the price. The rest of the book is the same. So some of the areas that it's believed that these books were sold as a test run include Tennessee, Alabama, North Carolina, Ohio, and Texas. You can see how scarce these books. It's unbelievable. This book, 37 copies graded in all conditions total. There's only one 9.6 or better. Heritage has only ever sold 2 copies in the last 20 years. Looking at the Overstreet price guide for this book, you can see that it actually had stalled for quite a while, but in recent years it started to move. So in low grades, it's starting to go. It's now tripled. And in high grade, it's really moving because, of course, everybody wants the high grade copies. And it's gone up 6.5 times in this time period. And of course, check out eBay sales to see how much above guide these books are selling when they sell. And of course, top graded copies, if slabbed on this GP analysis website, you can see where the market is going with that. On the census overall, there's 1 9.6 and 5 9.2s. All right, that is that book. Number 9 on our list of 35-cent variants, X-Men 107. You'll notice on my chart, it ranks as the 20th most valuable Marvel comic of the 1970s. So basically, the list we're looking at here dominates the true most valuable comics of the 70s. Again, all due to extreme rarity. X-Men 107 is one of 3 X-Men comics that had a 35-cent price variant. This one's an important one. It's the first full appearance of the Starjammers. Features the regular gang, Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, etc. Dave Cockrum cover art. Again, estimated print run is 1,500 copies, where the regular 30-cent cover had an estimated print run of 111,000 copies. And you can compare the census here, seeing the big difference. So the variant is now up to 31 copies graded with 2 9.6s or better, and Heritage has sold 3 copies. Compare that to the regular cover, you can see the drastic difference, where on the census, just copies in general, that's what, 40 times more copies. And there's the difference. You can see the 35-cent and the 30-cent covers for this key issue. On the census, these X-Men books are actually quite highly priced raw in Overstreet. So they've actually been stalled for a few years in all conditions, $800 in a 9.2 raw. And on the census, again, we could compare. There is 2 9.6s, 2 9.4s. Number 8 on our list is the issue before, which is X-Men 106. Of course, again, print run estimated 1,500 copies, estimated 175,000 copy print run of this issue. This is the old X-Men versus the new X-Men, and also features Firelord and Misty Knight in this book. Again, comparing the two, there are now 48 copies of the variant graded, 5 9.6 or better, 4 at Heritage. There's the difference between the covers. Again, stalled in all conditions because it's already quite expensive raw. 32 in low grade, 800 for 9.2. This one actually quite a lot of copies graded on the census. 5 9.6 and 3 9.4. And moving up our list, number 7 most valuable price variant of the year is X-Men 105. This book also features Dave Cockrum art, Firelord, Lilandra, Misty Knight, and Eric the Red appearances. Chris Claremont and Dave Cockrum actually have cameo appearances in this issue. Print run estimated at 175,000 in total, but only 1,500 copies for the price variant. Let's compare them again. 35 copies graded, 0 high-grade copies, and Heritage has sold 4. Again, there's the difference in the price. In Overstreet, again, these are all holding at the same price as stalled for the last few years. And on the CGC census, no 9.6s or 9.8s, but there are 6 9.4s and 4 9.2s. Next on our list, number 6, a major key and very expensive, $1,500 in 9.2 raw in the Overstreet price guide, ranks as the 12th most valuable Marvel comic of the 1970s. Iron Fist number 15. This is the final issue of this short-lived series. And what can we tell you? Classic cover art. Again, you can see the price difference. The font is different for the 35 than it was for the 30. That's something you'll notice on all of them. On the census, you will see that there are 44 copies and also 0 9.6 or better. Heritage 4 again. And look at that. We got Wolverine hiding in the cover down in the far left there. So X-Men crossover, key book. And this book has been in demand for a long time. So you can see it's had steady growth over the years. Been tracking this for a long time. $54 in low grade, $1,500 in 9.2 near mint raw. And on the census, we have 2 9.4s, 4 9.2s. Number 5 on our list is Star Wars number 4. Now, the first 4 issues of Star Wars all had a 35-cent price variant. Now, people will always say, oh, I have the rare 35-cent price variant of number 9. Well, after issue number 4, all Marvel comics jumped to an official cover price of 35 cents. So yes, you can buy Star Wars number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. with 35-cent prices. But these are regular mass-produced issues. They are not these rare 35-cent editions. So they are not ultra rare. Again, here's the difference in the 2 covers with the prices. And the first 6 issues do cover the story of the original movie. So it features all the main gang. This is a classic Darth Vader cover. Again, 1,500 copies estimated, possibly 200,000 print run of the regular cover. Star Wars is really big right now. So, of course, everyone's hunted out and got these books graded. Obviously, the more expensive the books are, the more likely people get them graded. So now the grading at CGC is actually expanding. So we have 91 copies in total, but still only 2 9.6s. Heritage has now sold 9 copies. In Overstreet, again, nice steady movement. These Star Wars books have been hot for a long time. Extreme demand for them. There's just not many copies. So the book has gone up 4 times in low grade in less than a decade. And then it's also gone up 5 times in high grade raw. And of course, records are being broken on these Star Wars books all the time. The highest is 2 copies at 9.6 and 4 at 9.4. Next on our list, Star Wars number 3. Same details for each one. 83 copies graded and 5 9.6 or better. And again, Heritage has sold 9 of them. And basically the same thing. So number 2, 3, and 4 are all worth the same price. So same movement in all of them in all grades in Overstreet. There is a 9.8 of this book and 4 9.6s. And that brings us to Star Wars number 2, which is high on our list. This is a very major key book. It's the first full appearance of Han Solo, Chewbacca, and the Millennium Falcon. And it has a catchy Cantina, battle scene of Luke and Obi-Wan on the cover. Classic book. Again, 1,500 copies estimated. There's 121 copies graded, and no 9.6s or better. Heritage has now sold 11 of them. Overstreet, again, same thing, same price, up 4 times, up 5 times. On the census, 9.4 is the highest copy ever graded, 5 of them. Next on our list, and we're really getting into the big books. Iron Fist number 14, featuring the first appearance of Sabretooth, has a rare 35-cent variant, and it ranks as the 3rd most valuable Marvel comic of the 1970s. This is a major book. $4,400 near mint for a raw copy. And look, back in the 80s, you could still buy it for $2. Looking at a little bit more details on this book, even the regular cover is the most valuable regular cover of 1977 for Marvel. And again, 1,500 copies estimated, CGC 64. There are 4 9.6s. Overstreet's been moving pretty steadily for the last couple of decades. It's now gone up about 6 times in low grade. High grade's gone crazy. It's gone up about 8 times in price in this time period. On the census, there are 4 9.6s and 3 9.4s. And finally, the most valuable comic of 1977 from Marvel, and in fact, the most valuable Marvel comic of the 1970s, is Star Wars #1, the 35-cent variant edition. It's always been hefty. Now guides at $12,000 for a raw near mint 9.2. And of course, when the copies like that actually hit the market, the prices skyrocket. This, of course, is a major classic cover now, and important as the first Star Wars comic ever published, and the first appearance of Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Princess Leia, C-3PO, R2-D2, and the first cover appearances of Han Solo and Chewbacca. Howard Chaykin cover art. So what do we see about this one? 242 copies have surfaced. So interestingly, the Star Wars are worth so much money, but they're also actually the easiest graded CGC copies to find. 3 9.6 or better. Heritage has sold a whopping 27. And most of this has been just since the movie started coming back. Overstreet has had massive jumps. It's gone up 8 times in low grade, and it's gone up about 14 times in high grade. This book is unstoppable. This is the #1 most valuable comic of the 70s for Marvel, and in fact, for any publisher. Therefore, this is the cream of the crop book. On the census, there are no 9.8s. There are 3 9.6s, 13 9.4s. So for those of you who like rare books, those of you who like interesting variant covers, this is possibly the most exciting thing to collect. And these books, approaching 45 years old, are not going to get any easier to find. They're getting old, and people have sought out all the books. There are not many copies at all. So sometimes finding even a 3 out of 10 grade is the best copy you might find at times. Well, there you go. The 10 most valuable Marvel 35-cent price variants of 1977. Thanks for watching. Check out my website, terryhoknes.com, for more articles on collecting and history, and also CBSI comicbookinvest.com.